Hi, my name is Rich, and I use the he, him pronouns. You're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role playing games with friends. This is the Intercontinental Group of Awesome, and we are continuing our series of playing Spire, The City Must Fall, which has been a wonderful experience, and I hope that you've been watching with us. And of course, what makes it the best experience is that I'm not the GM. That's right, Tyler is our ever-loving GM. So here, let me hand it over to you, Tyler.
Thank you, Rich. And hi there. I am Tyler, he, him pronouns. And it is Spire, which is a game by Grant Howitt and Christopher Taylor. I would urge folks, if you don't know what we're doing, go back. We've been playing a shitload of games. So come in and watch them. We are reaching kind of a big moment in our game. Our group is going to a party. But this particular party certainly has an air of danger about it. After much work, we have discovered that the psychopathic serial killer, the Swan, is likely to be in attendance. The group has gone and has last time looked through the warehouse district scene where some of the gnolls are creating the drug Drek and eliminated one of the big dangerous of these gnolls, Kresh. There was a full-on fight which Sorden struck him down with much fury, while Aramis took his demonic servant and cast it back into the depths of hell. Meanwhile, Vazar and Fanara had gone to a residence where we have some idea that maybe the mastermind behind all of this, Joshua, is holed up. Had a chance to meet with the housekeeper there and find out a little information, some things about noises in the basement that the housekeeper couldn't quite understand. Went down there and looked, but awful, horrible noises coming from there. And Vazar had gone up to the top, I believe, highest floor, highest risk was the quote of Vazar. And had gone to discover that a chamber, in the bedroom, a glass enclosed cylinder with some sort of mist in it, and had punched buttons so that the demonic influence that was inside of it kind of broke out. We saw some nastiness fall out from that. We also learned that that residence is guarded by gentlemen carrying rifles, and quite a few of them. So we did a little groundwork on both of our other difficulties, which is the Drek and, of course, Joshua's plan overall. But tonight we go to try and see if we can deal with the Spawn. And this party is being held at Zordan's old employer, old master for whom he served endurance. But Zordan's going a different company tonight. He's going with the Paladin Mourns the 200 as his champion. Because Morn believes that, Morn knows that the Pantheon has shown him that the Swan will be there. And knowing that this Alfir Lord must offer protection to everyone there, he will have to challenge to get to whoever it is that he determines is the Swan. And there would be considerable political fallout were he to do this challenge himself, so Zordan will be called upon to act as his champion. Along with that, we have Fanara and Golaset coming in on a very cleverly gained invitation from our old friend Hyacinth. And we have Aramis and Vazar coming in on an invitation from Lorelei and Sebastian who we kind of feel certain are proteges of the Swan.
Mhm.
And so our whole group going to get in. Now, why don't we go ahead and meet everybody, and then we'll get started. So we'll start. We all know who Rich is, but why don't we hear about your character?
Happily, I am playing Aramitz. Aramitz Fleck, who was raised as a hunter during his durance, but became a priest of Limier, the goddess of our people. He is a Lajan, and he does those things, and evidently now he can deal with demons. Although I'm not entirely sure he would be able to do it quite as well every single time, but this one time he did okay.
Yes, indeed. He did very, very well. Next up, Sabine, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us about your character?
Sure. I'm going to play Vizar. Vizar Shadewright. Vizar uses he/they pronouns, and he is an smith, which means that he is a writer of penny dreadfuls and slightly and articles of all variety. Let's keep it at that. He did his durance as a sage in the library, and has brought from there art, ideas, and stories and knowledge. Strange knowledge, dangerous knowledge. Yeah, well, also he kind of is overconfident, I guess. Maybe a little. People say that. It's not true.
If it keeps working out, is it overconfidence?
Exactly. And has been keeping work. And there are some rumors flying around recently about him. And I told, did I write these down? Because they were so lovely.
I'm not sure. Did you?
I did not.
We have a rumor of your low birth.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We have a rumor that you are the actual head of Gray Manor.
Not yet.
And we had what was our third rumor?
That's what I'm struggling with too.
Jen, you came up with it. What was that third rumor? I'm a bad person. I just listened to it.
Yeah, I super don't recall.
Neither do I.
It was a lie. I remember that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, I remember now. Because we've been having these problems, the theater, and with all of these dangers, are all these things happening, and Bizarre always seems to be sticking their nose, seems to be present. Maybe there's a connection. So that's the rumors going around. Oof, Bizarre, so many rumors. Next up, Jen, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us about your character?
Well, hello, I'm Jen. I use she/her pronouns, and I am playing Fonara Alvary, who also uses she/her pronouns. Fonara is an Azurite. She did her durance as a dealer in goods. So she's very focused. She likes buying things. She likes selling those things that she bought. She likes having money and doing things with that money. And has largely been shuffling around objects, knowing people, putting very important stashes of useful things around the city, and is probably all dolled up to go to this play.
Awesome. Tell me, with Goliset going with you, how are you framing his presence? Is he as your bodyguard? Is he your escort? How is he dressed?
Is it culturally normal to bring a bodyguard to an event like this?
It would not be completely unheard of. You could have a good feeling that these Alfir will have someone to watch out for them.
Mm-hmm. But we probably it feels attention grabbing, which I don't want to do. So I think I'm dressing Goliset up as my escort.
He seems very pleased to be well dressed. And you know, he likes that formal clothes give him lots of places to hide weapons.
I did not know that you could put a dagger there. Fascinating.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And last but certainly not least, Jan, introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Hi, my name is Jan. I use he, him pronouns. I will be playing Zordin, also uses he, him pronouns. Zordin is a knight of the Order of the Kraken Bell, which is a bar. Like all knight orders are related to a bar, obviously. Before he became a knight there, he was a duelist in the service of the resplendent First Light of Dawn, whose party we're going to now. And he was a duelist. He was very good at it, so he actually kept doing it for longer than he needed to, strictly for his endurance to be completed. But then he lost the duel, and he got bumped off. So he's a bit sour about that, and now he's going to the party as someone else's duelist to probably fight the person who took his place.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. And I'm going to start by asking, we ended with you, Zordin, taking on the role of champion for Morns. There's quite a formal little bit of ceremony to that. I want to ask, though, once that formality is done and he's, the two of you are preparing to go to the party. I mean, he's getting himself, you're leaving out from here. But before you leave, you and your comrades discovered 2 warehouses where it's likely Drek is being made.
Okay.
Are you going to pass that information along? I know there was some discussion last time about getting that information to the Paladins. And we can even do a flashback to when we were meeting together if you want to kind of, bring in the group to ask and figure out that. But in this moment, it would be the time to do it.
I think he definitely, because it was something that we sort of like we threw it out there as a possibility, but I don't think we really decided on it yet.
Okay, then I think we see the two of you with your handshake, and we get the little fade back to the table at the Kraken Bell with everybody sitting around.
Right. So, do we want the Paladins to step in there? Because they probably will.
What would be the downside of that? Would they arrest people who are only in the vicinity for being Drek users? That's we probably don't want that.
They might very well do that, yeah.
Don't know. Don't think that is very helpful.
That's easier on them for certain.
But I mean, I don't think they'll give up at that level, though. But that's still a level that might very well happen.
Mm-hmm.
Aramid, you're well aware of the things that are probably lurking inside of those warehouses.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is your opinion on this?
The Paladins are hammers, and every one of the drow are nails to them. They will take out this warehouse. They know that the warehouse is supplying direct to so many people. Will they look up in Spire or down? Regardless, the warehouse needs to be dealt with. And if the paladins are the most effective way to stop it now, then perhaps it is our only choice. It is an ugly choice, in my opinion.
There is little else we can do. I mean, we can just the 5 of us, 4 of us. There's not 5 of us, so 6 of us.
7.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot because she was over there. Yeah, just the 6 of us. But maybe I don't know. Admiral Sordin, don't we have another option? I mean, we have knights, don't we? You all can fight. You're not the only knight of the Kraken Bell, are you?
True.
So is this maybe
But-
something that?
Were those warehouses in the northern
They were in
docks?
New Heaven.
Yeah,
Okay.
we don't have any jurisdiction technically. It's gonna be an issue.
Yeah. Okay. I know. Yeah. Sorry. I just thought knights, big, strong, and less enamored, let's say, with the Elfir than the Paladins.
I mean, paladins are mostly Elfir.
Yeah. That still holds true. Elfir are very much
And
enamored of
we-
themselves.
We have one. We know one exception to this rule of a paladin that is now a drow, but like most of the paladins.
Yeah. See, that's why I'm hesitant to bring them into things that mostly because they won't. Will they even look at this? Does the drag affect the Elfir?
You have heard that yes, there has
Okay.
been problems with it up in New Heaven in Black.
They're engaging in demonology, which is
Yeah,
very
okay.
illegal.
True. And rightly so, I think.
Yeah, and the paladins are in particular the force that takes on demons. If you remember, Morns the 200 got his name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe we should send them to this Rhyme Cracks Beneath house. They have demons.
Maybe.
No.
Maybe not anymore.
Nah, well. Oh, well, I don't know. I cannot speak to that, but I saw things that will never hold up in court because I'm just a lowly drow. I'm just a lowly shade right. So, okay. What's the worst that can happen? They crack down on drow. That's the worst that can happen. The best that can happen is that they take out the drag. What probably will happen is both.
True.
So we gotta decide. Do we have another option? Do we want to put this to the ministry? Because they might.
Again, we could. I'm not sure how well they'd be equipped for this.
No, but if they say, "Hey, yeah, use the paladins. We'll take care maybe of to get our people out." Give a heads up.
We can definitely ask
I
their
mean,
opinion.
I feel that might be a better option than just losing the paladins.
The last time we the last time we exchanged information with Makarith, she let us know that she was watching out for us. But the tone of her message implied that we needed to hurry. And there's probably a certain amount of friction in the ministry right now concerning our tasks.
Yeah, okay.
Still, I'm leaning towards Vazar's idea. Often it is joked it is better to ask forgiveness than permission. But if we do this thing and the paladins are as vigilant as we expect they would be, it would be good if Makarith could tell the rest of the ministry this is coming.
Yeah, because this
Fair
won't
enough.
happen tonight. This won't happen tonight anyway, because tonight Morans the 200 is going to a party, and I feel that the paladins won't be active on this task before the morning, and we can leave a message now.
Exactly.
Fair enough. Good. A warding would only go well. So
All right.
that's decided. It's also possible that if the paladins take the warehouse, that they'll learn about the mansion themselves.
True.
If that goes well, perhaps some informant could help them.
Ooh, I can totally be an informant.
You could totally be an informant. A
very
secret
good.
informant. A very good one. Highly well informed.
Yeah, well, I'm a Grey Manor investigator. Obviously, I'm well informed.
Obviously. But if as a secret informant, perhaps you're not a Grey Manor investigator.
Oh yeah, as a secret, I'm not holding up my card, a Grey Manor investigator at all. No. The rumors of my involvement with that place have been greatly exaggerated.
I see you as a very Mark Twain type figure. I really do.
I'm not a racist, but otherwise, yeah.
Right, so we do tell the paladins.
Yeah.
Yes.
We do tell the paladins and we warn the ministry about the activity.
Right.
All right. So we pull back from that. Sordin, do you wish to tell him before you go? Or is it something to do after you tell him before you go?
Yeah.
You say you found where this drug is originated?
Some places. Not sure if it's all of it, but yes. But not in the northern docks.
You could point out these facilities, though.
Yes.
And they're here in New Heaven.
Yes.
So, Sordin, I would prefer if I was there to lead the paladins when they go in to deal with this.
I would actually prefer that as well. Actually, yeah.
He looks back. I could order them to do that now, but without me present. Thank you for this information. I'm afraid, as much as I despise what this drug is doing, that it will have to wait until tomorrow. Sir Sword, you continue to rise, in my opinion. I knew you were an amazing fighter. I have learned you were an honorable man. I hardly thought you were an investigator as well.
Well, I mean, we do some work at the Knights as well.
Perhaps I have not looked into the good works of the Knights of the Docks as well as I should have.
I have actually been sworn in by the Duke herself, so like as a I'm technically part of the city guard, sort of, in a sense.
You see him for a moment kind of bite back a comment where he goes, yes, of course. And
Don't like the Duke.
I've had questions on the activities of the Knights and their somewhat questionable tactics in the past, but, well, again, I think this is all a problem for tomorrow.
Right.
Well, let us go to a party. And you begin setting off. Fanara, you and Golaset, are you arranging for some sort of transport, or are you walking? There could be like palanquins or...
We're going in a palanquin.
All right.
Girl. I'm not walking.
Bravo. So, you arrive out front of resplendent first light of dawn's mansion. Jan, what is the most striking? What's the first thing that Fanara notices as she arrives at the grand entryway?
There's a giant version of the mask that he always wears that's hanging like it's like, the size of an actual person that's hanging in the entry. He likes his face.
Humble.
Awesome.
I like it.
As you come up to, into this entryway, and there's a servant there that is waiting to take your invitations. Madam, sir, your invitations? I see. He looks down. Well, the performances will be in a few hours. Until then, please enjoy anything here on the first floor.
Understood.
There's food, drink, and of course, light entertainments.
Well, thank you for your hospitality. Have a good evening.
And you as well, madam. Sir. And you begin heading in. First thing that you really sort of notice is that the folks here of the first floor are mostly drow. You do see some Elfir come in. They're greeted with a bit more pomp than you were. Their servants hand over the invitation and then are sort of shooed off to wait for the Elfir. And those Elfir go rather grandly up the staircase to the second floor. There are some Elfir, though, that are kind of relegated to the first floor, and most of them you will recognize. These are the merchants. These are the people of, while still Elfir, are of trade. Not the nobles, not that stuff. Also amongst them, you'll see there are some of the higher ups of certain military groups. You see that the ones that deal with the whales when they come in that cover the docks. These are not nobles.
Right. They didn't inherit their money. They worked for it, albeit however little they might have worked for it, which makes them basically drow.
As you begin moving through, Golaset will look at you and say, Madam, I do not like how close everyone presses together. It makes it difficult for me to properly defend you.
You're going to have to adapt to that, Golo.
These parties. Oof.
Never been to any parties before?
I used to go when I was entertaining, but not from the other side, madam.
Well, I think from our host's perspective, a crowd on the floor means that his party is desirable. Everyone wants to be here, though. So if we press together in order to do so, then that's a sign of success.
I see. Well, shall I get you a drink, madam?
That would be lovely. Thank you.
I would prefer if you stay within line of sight.
Of course.
And he moves off to go get a drink. What are you wanting to do? Kind of in the broadest, are there certain types of people you'd like to talk to? Are you casing the joint? What would you like to do?
Let's see. I want to get like an early map in my head of the ins and outs of the theater space. And I want to get a bead on who's really interested in that amongst the crowd and who's kind of, nah.
Gotcha.
I'm here to hobnob with someone else. The play is incidental.
All right. As you begin moving about, and Golisette will come back with a drink and meet up with you as you're moving about.
I have to correct Golo and make sure that he holds the stemware by the stem.
It is so delicate, madam. I fear I shall break it.
You will do fine. Simply pay attention to your fingers.
Yes, madam. As you move about, you can see that there's a lot of kind of the performative, oh, I'm at a grand party from the drow set that's here.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the, oh, I'm being accepted into this place, and,
very try hard.
Mm-hmm. And this would be what the ministry would definitely think of as collaborators. These are people who have sold their freedom in exchange for the little bits of crumbs that are handed back to them. And you can see that there's a lot of wheeling and dealing going on here. This is a big networking opportunity for people in the know. And it's a chance for drow who are at this position to be in a social situation with the Elfir of trade who are down here on first floor. And you can see that, kind of despite their haughtiness, this also works in those Elfir's favor as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can just read off of how these deals are going. The fact that these drow are able to be in this setting is giving these Elfir an advantage in dealing. And so they're giving up way too much in these deals just so they can feel good about being in the setting they're in as these Elfir are taking them for a ride.
Mm-hmm.
But there's like a room set for drinking and talking, and there's a little quartet playing music there. It is a drow orchestra, drow quartet playing fairly traditional drow tunes. As you move around, you get to where is a much more of the eating area. And you see that there is another slightly larger musical group there. They're drow, but they're playing definitely Elfir music. It has that cold, dreary sort of sound that they're so fond of. It is, I won't say soulless, but at the same time, it's like listening to trance music that has been very heavily done by computer rather than someone actually going in and mixing something well.
Yeah.
It's by the numbers more than by soul.
Right. It's the math says that this should be the perfect song. So therefore it is.
Right.
Everyone's playing it right now. Yeah. And if anybody tries to discuss business with me, I'll say, oh, I'm having liquidity troubles right now. And really, I just want to enjoy a nice play and refresh myself for another
They'll
season.
give you a sort of sad, oh, I see, sort of look, the accepting it and a little bit of pity in their look.
Mm-hmm.
But you make it to what would be like a ballroom, but is set up for stage. One end of it has the stage set up. It is clearly constructed to be in here. So it's not like something that is part of the structure itself.
Right.
It is a proscenium that has been built on, and the curtain wall behind, and then behind that would be wherever the actors would be. But all of that is set inside the ballroom.
Wait.
But it's massive ballroom. I mean, it's just
Oh, yeah.
ostentatiously huge.
How's the seating working out for the play?
It is actual seating rather than standing. And there are, to the sides are set up where you can, because it has a balcony kind of going around. Up there will probably be where the Elfir are.
Proms.
And then there'll be like a sitting area before the stage, and then there's plenty of milling room around the edges of the seating area.
Right.
And you can also see that there are people you recognize as talented folks capable of doing lighting effects, and mages isn't the right word, but idols.
We'll call them light rights for now.
Right, yeah. Idols that are they're the techies of the theater.
Right, right.
And up on stage at the moment, you see there are people who are doing performances that are, juggling, and they're things that aren't spoken. It's all performance-based little things that are going on up there. And there are a few folks who are enjoying and watching, but nobody's really sitting because there's not a play going on.
Right, right. Nice. Do I spot any producery types?
Yeah, you see that that gentleman that you met off at the other theater. He's standing by the side of the stage, and he's got that that plastered on smile that you recognized before.
Oh, good evening.
Oh, how nice to see you again. Fanara, wasn't it?
Correct.
Ah,
Should I have you a drink fetched to put your hair out of being on fire?
Well, I'm here on business. I'm representing several of the acts. Rather a coup on my part.
I was going to say, that's excellent. Seems like a busy evening. Congratulations.
Thank you. My clients are abysmal people who know nothing at all about business itself. I had to wrangle them in. Performers.
They didn't want to come into this exclusive venue? Look at the stage.
Good for them.
Well, glad that they have a steady hand like yours to steer them right.
Exactly. And I earn my 40%, I assure you.
Very good. Well, I'll leave you to it, but it was very pleasant speaking with you once more. Any small acts I should be aware of, though, before I go?
Well, I suppose we're going to be seeing Sebastian and Lorelei as we did the other night.
Internally, mentally crossing that off of my viewing schedule.
They would be clients I would love to put under my administration. But apparently they've been working with that ham. Oh, that actor.
Who?
I had him before I even pulled up the page, but I'm such a bad person. Max, someone wasn't it? Ah, fudge. I'm so bad with names. It's terrible. Gosh darn it.
Well, let me check the notes because it might be in there. And in fact, Control F, Laurel Y. Start with the names that I know.
You'd think they'd have him right here on his character sheet.
Oh, come on. Why put a name on a character sheet? Who does that? Prestigious performers last performed for Theron Thorns on Silk.
Bloody hell. Callisto Brox.
Callisto Brox. Incredible. Okay. Why didn't I write that down? That's such a great name.
Yes, that ham, Callisto Brox.
Oh, there it is. Anyway. Well, perhaps they prefer to be produced by somebody who knows their personal struggles.
Maybe so. I know he took them under his wing. He has been commissioned to perform tonight as well.
Oh. Interesting. Is that uncommon?
Well, he tends to work inside of the Elfir houses, but he's going to be doing a series of monologues. Nothing more dreary than an actor chewing scenery over monologues.
There's certainly not much visual to it, is there?
Oh, I assure you, he will be gesticulating as though he were on fire, emoting to the ceiling. That's the man.
Well, there is a certain amount of mirth that can be extracted from that.
He will be the star of the show. I imagine he'll come on last.
How dramatic. Well, it was lovely speaking with you as usual.
And you.
Have a good evening. Good luck.
Thank you. And as you move off, you see him motioning towards the backstage, and you see a young man. As he says, "Get up there! You need to be visible. Do your fire juggling, boy. Do your fire juggling."
Fire juggling. Hot shit. It's a little nervous because he just got yelled at, you know? It's the spice of life.
I think we'll switch over to Amaranths and Vizar coming in.
Yeah, nice. Okay.
You arrive at the front, this glorious entryway.
Sorry.
Oh my. and the servant asks, "May I have your invitations, please?"
Of course. And I will show him the invitations we have procured.
Oh, I see that you have been given access to the performers area, a friend of the showman, as it were.
Yes, I am. I have had a lovely talk with these performers.
I'm sure that you will enjoy your time here. Please enjoy all of the bottom floor. There are drinks, light entertainment, and food for you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As you move in, you hear from off to the side a voice say, I'm just wanting to go and visit the library. I don't care if it's downstairs, you morons. I'm not required to go upstairs. The Tsar!
And I roll my eyes at Aramis and say, I have tried to hide behind Aramis as soon as I've heard that voice, but apparently I wasn't quick enough. And I roll my eyes at that. I know that one. And I will then go over and bow elaborately and say, resplendent dreams of firefly glyphs, my master, how may I serve you?
What sort of mask does he wear?
He is wearing a mask that is actually is a very it looks quite fanciful because it is made up of a series of interlocking glyphs. If you can read them, they tell you his name. Of course, there is a spelling error in there, but you'd have to know the glyphs pretty well to spot that, and that has nothing to do with somebody making the wrong order several years ago. He has never spotted it, so it's probably fine.
He can't see it from inside.
No, of course not.
Thank goodness you're here. I've been looking for you all evening.
I am most honored, Master.
These boobs are keeping me from visiting the library here. I've heard there are several tomes of interest that this resplendent whatever is keeping that really should be in the library.
Oh, Master, I feel that you may take that up with him, though, right? Because, as you know, as we all know, as you have taught me, books are sacred to a man's heart. And if you want to take something from a man's heart, should you not inform him?
I find it a complete insult that I am being kept from looking at them by these people.
That is indeed, I don't know who are these people that he is complaining
They're
about.
servants of the house.
I will look at them. This is indeed unacceptable. Please escort the redolent dreams of firefly glyphs immediately to your master.
Sir,
Immediately. You know who he is, right?
Well, yes, of course. We.
Good. Then we don't have a problem here.
Of course, sir. We will. If you'll follow us, we will take you. He looks back towards you. Vizar, here, and he pulls out a piece of paper and hands it to you.
Thank you.
You go find this library. These are the tomes in particular I'm looking for. I've always found your handwriting to be most clear.
Yes, thank you, Master, as you have told me often before. I will go post haste and look for these tomes. And then I stride off into the distance, far away from him. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. And I'm going back to Aramis and say, look, we've got now an excuse to run around this house. And
indeed you do. Looking down at it, this is it is a sheet declaring that as a master of the college, there are certain books here that he has rights. Now, you're not sure how true that is, to peruse for his own chance to copy. And you do see it signed by him.
Yeah, well, that is great because, as I said, that gives me not precisely permission, but if I'm caught somewhere where I shouldn't be, I can just whip this out and say, I was looking for these. So this is great.
You see him being hustled up the stairs, and in his irritated voice, he's just berating the servants that are taking him.
Yeah, we should stay out of his way, though, Aramis.
You handled him quite well.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, yeah, I was with him during my durance, and it was, you have to know how to handle him. And flattery, profuse flattery, and recognition of this entitlement will always work wonders. Gerald actually taught me that.
Aramis, I don't know if you've been to this sort of party before.
He was a hunter. Aramitz is not a fancy drow in any way, shape, or form. He's smart enough to just keep to himself, try to mimic what other people are doing, not stand out. That's his whole plan.
Is there anything you're wanting to do as you move around? Anyone you're wanting to talk to, or anything you're wanting to look for?
Really, no, Aramitz is here to give Gavizar cover, to keep an eye out for Zordon, to help out with Fanara. He really just sees himself as a party cleric. Like, he is here to support. He doesn't have any stakes in being at this party other than making sure that his team gets what we're after and isn't webbed up in any particular problems. So
All right.
he's the floater.
As the two of you move around, kind of looking over the scene, a very attractive young woman drow comes walking up. She is wearing a cloak, but you can kind of see underneath it is a very tight bodysuit. And Bizarre, you recognize Lorelei as she comes up to the two of you. Bizarre.
Lorelei, my dears, this is your outfit. I'm stunned. I will pretend to kind of not ogle her.
She is beautiful. And she will give a smile towards you, Aramis, and your companion, Bizarre.
Oh, that is actually, that is my. Did we talk about what I should?
Whatever
yeah,
you
I think,
say, that's what we talked
yeah.
about.
Okay. This is my good friend Aramis. He is he's a bit new to the arts, but he's very interested.
I see. I have to admit that I had expected you to bring your merchant friend, but, and she sort of smiles and runs her finger down your arm, Aramis. I can't be displeased you brought such a handsome companion.
You're too kind. Lorelei, is it? It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Bizarre, my mentor was very interested in having a chance to meet with you.
Oh, that would be that would be an honor.
He will be headlining the show this evening, of course.
Oh, Master Brax himself.
Indeed, that is our mentor, the greatest actor the Drow have ever known, the shining light of the Spire.
I have attempted to write a piece about him when I was younger, but I did not dare. My words did fail me.
I'm sure that he would be most willing to give an interview to you. As I say, he is interested in your talents.
As minor as they might be. But
Perhaps
There's a moment when you say as minor as they might be where Aramis goes, he's not used to Bizarre saying such things.
If the two of you would like to accompany me, he would like to see you in his dressing room.
oh, I'm throwing some kind of, am I looking good? Helpless look at Aramis, hope that he nods or something, and then I go,
Bizarre, are you sure we do have a few other people that you'd prearrange some interviews with?
oh no, this these other people. Have you heard of Callisto Brax? Aramis, I've told you about
Yes, of course.
This is. Do you want to go and talk to them, or do you want to come with us?
Surely you should come with us, Master Aramis. I just simply could not stand it. She'll put her arm through yours, and she slinks up next to you, and it's a little of, when you think back to Yvette being close to you just, earlier in the night, the warmth that came from her is so different from the coiled sort of oiliness of Lorelei as she pushes up beside you. I simply won't take a no for an answer.
Then I will not offer one.
Come with me then, gentlemen. And she begins moving you back past the crowds and down a hall. And I think we're going to have our break here, and then we'll have our big entrance for Zordon and get into what. Alrighty, we're back. And Zordon, you and Morns arrive, and Morns pretty much just marches straight up the steps to enter. And as the servant looks up to see him, sir, do you have an? I am here to see the Lord of the House. You will understand there's a party going on. I am well aware of the party going on. My champion and I come to see the Lord of the House. You will take me to him now.
Zordon's face is completely still. There's I think Tirza would not recognize him at the moment because his attitude is completely different. He's completely gone into just duelist modes, basically. He is being perfectly still, standing with his hands behind his back, standing, at the exact right amount of distance to the right and behind of the knight. He's uncanny weird suddenly.
And Thorza is sort of hanging behind you, and this change you can see has, I wouldn't say confused her, but she's drinking it all in. She's learning, watching. And as she trails, you can see she's keeping a very serious face about her as well. The servant makes a motion, and another in livery comes up, and you recognize him, Zordon. He was working here when you were here, and his eyes sort of widen as he sees you. Sword.
There's a very small nod, just acknowledging, yes, I've heard you. Yes, I am who you think I am. Not going to.
The person greeting, Master Moralax. This paladin has requested. I have not requested. The paladin needs to see his lordship. If you will follow me, and you are taken through the party, and you'll get a few looks, and I think, Fenara, you will see as Morns comes through. I don't know if you've seen Morns before.
I don't know as I have.
He's an impressive figure.
Big guy?
He's good sized guy. He wears his armor well, like a person who is used to it. And there is the definite feel of an experienced warrior. And you see Sorden there looking very serious.
I gotta blink a little bit. I'm like, wait a minute. It's Sorden.
As they move through the party, and people definitely get out of Morn's way as he's coming through. And you are taken kind of off through a hallway where there are fewer people and to a private stairway you recognize, which will be leading up to an audience chamber where Resplendence is. Resplendent, sorry. As you move up, Morn says, my guess is that this may be difficult. We should try to keep our tempers about us. And you come up to a waiting area. I will let his lordship know. Should I tell him this is official business? Yes. Let him know that Captain Morns the 200 comes to arrest a criminal. You see the servant's eyes widen as he runs off. A few minutes later, the servant returns. If you will follow me, sir. And you were led back to what you know is a private audience chamber. As you enter, you see Resplendent's first light of dawn. His mask, his clothing, everything impeccable. This audience chamber, you've been here before, though in the past you've been behind Resplendent. What does the chamber look like?
Wait, this is his chambers or just
It's his. This is his audience chamber, the small audience chamber, and usually to deal with like business.
Mm-hmm. I think it's like, you know, it's the small audience chamber is still quite large. And there's like it's not very furnished, except for like a lot of paintings on the wall and of course a large desk where of course there's no chair on this side of the desk because no you're just gonna have to stand.
Excellent.
And of course a very very richly furnished chair on the other end.
And Resplendent will rise just slightly as you enter before sort of slouching back into the chair. Captain Morns. And he lets the name sort of hang there. Morns. Yes, Lord Resplendent. What business do you have in my home? It has come to my attention through the blessings of the Solar Pantheon that there is a criminal attending your party. I do not yet know their identity, but I come to find and arrest them. I would require that you give me permission to do so. Require of me? You come to my home and speak of requirements to me? Sir, you are aware that the Solar Pantheon takes precedence over temporal matters, I am well within my rights to do this. You would come here and you would lay requirements at my feet, say this while I am entertaining. You must not value your position very much, Captain. I know quite well what the cathedral is entitled to. I also know how easy it can be to sway the cathedral's opinions. I will not allow you to disturb my guests. You, and for the first time, he looks at you, Sorden.
Sorden is very curious, like if he even recognizes him, but he's keeping very still, except for like the occasional, like there's probably a few moments where it's like one of the corners of his mouth just sort of twitches up a little bit, and it's like,
as he looks at you, and there's a pause for a moment. Who is this that you are with, Captain? My champion, Sir Sorden. Sir Sorden. Sir Sorden. Well,
Knight Admiral Sorden.
Knight Admiral Sorden. It is a sad reunion, Sorden. I had remembered you fondly. Now, have you sworn yourself to the church?
I have sworn myself to this mission, yes.
Knight Captain, I've denied your request. But it seems you travel with a known killer, certainly a killer well known to me. So I can only guess what your response will be. Yes, Lord Resplendent. If you deny this request, then I must insist you are questioning not only my right, but the right of the cathedral and the Pantheon. I hear your challenge then, mourns the 200. This will be more entertaining than even the actor that I've brought in. Fine. I will meet your champion. Should he win, I will bow to your request. If he loses, then, Captain, I promise you, you will be captain no more.
No pressure.
He makes a motion, and from out behind the chair steps a tall, whipcord thin, but very dangerous looking drow. Sorden, I'm guessing you've not had a chance to meet my new champion. You see, I've long known that you drow get slow as you get older.
Ooh, definitely some teeth grinding there. That comment. Like,
I believe that you will be impressed by your replacement.
Soren makes a very polite bow to the champion.
He steps forward and bows respectfully. Sorden, I have heard of your skills. I am called Malik of 1,000 Cuts.
Pleased to meet you.
It is a pleasure to meet you. It is said that in our business, until you defeat the best, you are always second best. I will no longer be second best after tonight.
Keeping a straight face and just little tilt of the head, like.
Resplendent stands. Captain, it is, I think, appropriate for this challenge to be witnessed. I would have my guests entertained, and once I've had my champion produce a wondrous win, feel free to stay for refreshments. And he strolls out. As they exit, Morns looks at you. That was very well done, Sir Sorden.
And I think Soren just responds to that by going like, thank you.
You will do very well. And he turns and begins to follow Resplendent. We're going to cut over. I will get back to you in just a moment, Fenara, if you don't mind. Because I'm going to have us with Bizarre and Aramitz for here for a moment. As Lorelei takes you back towards the dressing rooms of the entertainers, and this kind of circles around the ballroom, and you can see there's a double door that you pass that opens to the backstage of where, the entertainments are going on. And as she comes up to a door that has a star on it and has Callisto Brack's name written on it, she will look at you, Bizarre, and say, the maestro will be happy to see you. He should be returning any moment, but you can wait inside of his dressing room.
Thank you. I will bask in the knowledge of his presence.
She opens the door, and as she does, you see Sebastian standing up and moving to the door. Ah, Czar.
Sebastian, what a pleasant surprise. What a pleasure.
A pleasure to see you as well. Our mentor should be returning any moment, but please make yourself comfortable.
Thank you.
Lorelei and I shall be performing. I'm disappointed that you won't have a chance to see it. It will be your loss.
Yes, it certainly will be. I so enjoyed your last performance.
Mm.
It has been seared into my brain. And I give him a sunny smile.
He returns the smile. Yes, I imagine it was. Lorelei, oh, you have a friend. And he gives you the up and down, Aramis.
Don't shirk under his gaze. I am Aramis. Vizar has spoken so highly of your performance. It's an honor.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Lorelei, and he kind of glances. Aramis, please, why don't you come with us and enjoy the performance from a vantage point that few are able to get?
Quick glance for a check-in with Vizar.
I have no opinion on this. So, Vizar, of course, will gush that this performance is for the ages, as I said, seared into my brain.
Then how could I say no? Thank you, Lorelei. I would love to watch you perform. Both of you.
He smiles and sort of giggles, and he gives you a smirk. Yes, I'm sure you will. And he begins moving towards the stage as Lorelei takes holds your arm. Please come. And takes you to kind of the wings. And you could already see that Sebastian, and he has dropped away his robe and is wearing this skin-tight latex and leather sort of bodysuit that is coated in like gems that are lit up.
Mm-hmm.
And as as they sort of light up, you can feel a bit of the demonic around him. And as Lorelei, just stay here. You can see us from, and she points up, and you can see where there are some silks that are arranged above sight line on the stage. We will be going up there, and then the performance will be, and she motions to the stage. I'll make sure to keep an eye out.
Thank you. And not wanting to make any waves or raise suspicion, Aramis will head up.
Do you have any symbol of the goddess on you?
Yeah, I think like right there. Forehead.
Oh, okay.
Jim. Yeah, it's like he doesn't hide it. So
then she will move in very close, pressing up against you as she sort of just like slinkily moves, and that cloak falls away to reveal her bodysuit and the little lights. And you again feel the demonic kind of around her as she reaches up and sort of lightly touches you on the cheek. Perhaps we can enjoy each other's company after the performance.
perhaps we can.
I do so like a dedicated man.
Thank you. I'll take my seat now. Good luck with your performance.
No. Stay here.
As you wish.
And so you have a beautiful view of stage and backstage from the wings here as she moves and begins moving up the ladder. And the two of them are just inhumanly, unelfinly graceful. Even for elves, they are slinky as they're moving up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to hold you there for a moment as I pull over to you, Fedara. But it has been announced that the entertainment's being put on, that Sebastian and Lorelei will be performing. That's rung out across the body. And this is the sign that the real entertainments are about to begin. And so most everyone is starting to filter in towards the, to sit down and to, take up positions to watch that. You
Mhm.
said you wanted to avoid that performance, but do you?
Well, I'm certainly willing to stick around as people filter in and get a look. I spent a little bit of time gazing up at the balconies and so on, because from last session and discussion probably with Aramitz, the Swan's after an Elfir heart tonight, right? And it seems like the best place to get one of those is in the balconies, maybe during the performance. So I'm trying to get a bead on who gets to travel amongst those balconies without a lot of friction.
First off, there are a few Elfir in the balconies during these lesser performances. As this is announced, we start seeing it fill up more, and they're done very much like boxes.
Mhm.
There's no like big, it's not like they're stuck in seats. These are very nice, and there are servants of the household that are moving through, bringing in, drinks and food for each of these boxes. Someone you notice up there that kind of, I don't know if you'd expected to see them, but you do see Lucian Rhymes Cracks.
Oh, Rhyme Cracks Beneath?
Yes.
Oh my.
Is there. With him is a rather attractive drow woman, dressed provocatively.
Okay.
That he seems to be, kind of doting on a little bit.
Something for keeps. Interesting.
And he's in a box up there. There are a good 20 or so Elfir boxes, with a couple to at most 3 or 4 Elfir in each. People that are able to move around all of them are the household servants. Each of the Elfir have like at least one, but generally speaking, several body servants there with them. And you don't see any of them who don't have someone there who looks like they're capable of killing. Every box has at least someone who looks like they know their way around death.
Well, then it's either some of the downstairs Elfir, or maybe if there's a performer in the vein. Oh my.
As you're looking, someone passes you by that you recognize. It is our old friend, the lieutenant for Joshua. God, names, Tyler, stupid names. We even have her, I think, in our notes. Starts with an L. It doesn't start with an L. Farida Steres, who is the one who met the delivery that you saw. She got the kind of weird telescopy looking thing out of the crate. She is Joshua's, the one that went to her house that you followed.
Right.
She passes by you rather quickly, moving towards the side of the stage. She seems to be heading backstage. What would you like to do? She's very focused.
I follow her a bit, at least.
You notice her look up a couple of times towards Lucian's box, and it is clear from her face that she disapproves. You follow her around the stage, and she moves just straight through to the back. You have very little trouble getting to that edge, and there aren't people like in between you. Do you go ahead and kind of slide behind that curtain to follow her? And is Goliseth with you at this point? He will certainly want to be.
I will definitely not be aiming to lose Goliseth. That's he's stressed that he wanted me to be in his line of sight, and sometimes I get a little bossy with him, but we need a particularly amenable relationship working together. So sometimes I do listen to him. All right, I do try to follow her a little bit further.
All right. As you move through a parting of the curtain, you could see, again, she was booking it and is kind of focused moving by the wings. But you see Arabits standing there in the wings. And she, Arabits, you see that woman, Farida, move by you. She glances in your direction as she's going, and there's almost like a hesitation for just a second, like her brow, because she's wearing a mask, but she has it's very small cut across just here. And you see her brow furrow as she looks at you for just a second before she turns to move past you.
I try to avoid her gaze so that she isn't troubled by me being there.
She passes behind you as Fenara and Goliseth kind of slide in behind where she came. And you and Fenara, you catch each other's eye.
I'll actually find something to inspect behind Aramis so that we can be back to back. And I say, that's Farida.
Ah, she seemed to mark me.
I'm not sure if she understood who you were specifically, but yes.
Could
You do
be
know-
what I- Oh, sorry. She do know.
You do know that she at least would have noticed you when you and Crash on the perch had your
Right.
comments.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. She seems to be moving with quite a purpose.
Something seems to be happening right now. The performers, did you hear? They're
Yes, I
Lion.
want to avoid it. Their performances are particularly unhealthy.
Yes. I can sense their taint.
Mm. I worry that if I go further, I'll be found and removed from the party entirely.
What
It
is
is-
it you wish to do? Perhaps I can help.
Could you go after her?
I can try. And I'll do that. I'll certainly
You-
don't want to leave her in the lurch. Go ahead.
Okay, so you kind of step off, moving in the direction she went. Fenara the two of you separate.
Yep.
And as you are moving, you don't have to go very far before you. And what I'm thinking here, Aramis, is you're kind of following around the back of the stage.
Mhm.
And so there's a little bit of a curtain between you and the walkway she went down. You could always kind of move through if you wanted, but it's keeping you out of line of sight in an immediate thing, and then you could step out to go follow her.
Oh, that sounds cool. Yeah, I see that.
So as you're moving, you hear a voice up ahead. Her voice. There you are. And then a voice so beautiful, so deep and resonant that I'm not going to do it credit. Ah, Mysterious. How lovely to see you. Have you come for my performance? No, I'm not here for your performance. I'm here because my mistress is expecting you to get a job done tonight. Yes, a job. I shall delight, and then I shall destroy. My performance shall give life, and my blade shall bring death. Oh, good Lord. You, Lord Lucian, is up on the balcony with that trollop. My mistress wants his heart. Do not fail us. Mysterious. Where I go, tears follow. Do not overstep yourself. You are a servant. I am an artist. Now, I have a new protege to interview. Soon, my name will be in every broadsheet in the Spire. I will finally receive the recognition my years of acting have truly deserved. And then I shall indulge in my greatest art. And you hear him moving off as the woman, under her breath, says, I cannot wait until we kill that damnable windbag.
Aramitz is taken aback by this display. He probably performs a small prayer, and then he's going to try to make his way to Fenara.
All right. Fenara, as you move back, there is the sound of music. The lights have begun to dim, and this red light fills the ballroom and the stage. And just as you come back to the wings, Aramitz, you see, kind of looking over, Lorelei wrapped in silks, Sebastian wrapped in silks, and the two of them entwined. But she looks down towards you, and you see her smile, and even from this distance give you a wink as the two of them drop towards the stage, the music beginning to swell, and they begin to perform. Fenara is, I'm guessing you didn't move far enough away Aramitz couldn't find you.
Right. Yeah, I don't think I've had that kind of time, especially if I'm trying not to be noticed.
All right. So you see Fenara Aramitz.
I move up. Fenara. Something's going to happen. Lucian is in the balcony with a mistress, and
Seen it.
yes, Felicia wants the mistress dead for her, and he's here. I think I think things are about to go terribly, terribly awry. Callisto is supposed to kill the mistress.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, then I suppose I'll have to find a way to get that information to the others in our party. Where's Bizarre? Is he all right?
Yes, Vizar is quite right. Vizar is in the dressing room for Sebastian and Lorelei. I'm sure he's fine. Though it seems that Callisto plans to recruit Vizar and use Vizar's reach to make sure he is famous.
And I think that's where we're going to cut to Vizar. Inside of the dressing room, there are multiple posters up of Callisto Brax all around.
I will not bask. I will investigate because,
Well, let's have you do that.
And I will, of course, use my nose for trouble.
Oh.
If I can find what once per scene, ask the GM what's weird or out of place here, and it seems like this might be the ideal place because I have the time. What's weird? Out of place?
Giving the place a look over. Something first off, I'll give you off of your nose for trouble, and maybe even not even needing the nose for trouble. Is something you noticed kind of in Lorelei and Sebastian's dressing room before. There are knives situated within easy reach of nearly everywhere here.
Of course there are.
Now, with your nose for trouble, you also, I'm guessing you're, opening a drawer here, that sort of thing, right?
I'm just basking.
You find a very ornate silver pipe with a smell. I don't know if you smelled sulfur before.
I think I have.
You smell this.
Oh, nice.
Dark, horrid smell from the pipe. You also find, as you're just casually looking about, there is a wardrobe. It's a traveling wardrobe, but the doors are open. And you see there are beautiful costumes of all sorts of, these are clearly not Lorelei or Sebastian's. There's all sorts of character costumes, and they're beautifully made. But as you slide them to the side, you see behind them, there's an all-white bodysuit and a cloak made of white feathers. And hanging from the belt is a series of glass or crystal spikes, throwing darts.
I think what I need to do now is I need to know how to fight, right? Just can never hurt. Just getting in the mood, like, okay, this is how it works. Yes, this is absolutely how bonking people on the head absolutely is the way of knocking them out. Come on, universe, you believe that.
Let's roll it. Sounds like our knockout punch.
Yeah.
Deceive plus occult.
Yes.
So 3 dice.
3 dice. Okay. See how that got. There's a 10.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
All right. As you're sort of bringing this power into you, you hear the door begin to open, and you turn to see this impressive man, this impressive drow, tall, strong, and very graceful
I
and
don't have to
handsome.
act. I don't have to act.
He is the man you've seen on the posters all around you. It is Callisto Brax as he steps in. Ah, Vizar.
Master Brax, this is quite an honor. My dear, gosh, I don't know what to say. I am babbling now, as you can hear, because I am so overcome.
He moves close to you, and there is this very strong draw to him. I mean, he's just exuding charm as he says, please, please, I have heard of your magnificent skills, a writer of such transcendent form.
My skills pale to your slightest movement on the stage.
It is not fair to compare our arts.
True.
Art is truly of the individual. And you, I've been told, are an individual who I should know.
As I have told Lorelei and Sebastian, my skills are small, but I burn with ambition.
Under my tutelage, you could indeed burn like a comet across the sky. All will look with wonder.
Yes, that if you could help me in the slightest, I will be yours.
You say all the things that a true artist should say, understanding how a mentor can help them, understanding how having a patron will elevate you.
I have come from the lowest, but I aspire. I aspire, sir.
I will take you to the greatest of heights, my dear boy. He steps past you towards his kind of dressing mirror. I have a performance tonight before luminaries. And he sort of smiles to himself. Tonight, my art will reach its highest pinnacle. I shall take my rewards.
Oh, and I will, yes, because this is bizarre and he has not the sense of a grasshopper. He will step towards the cupboard, the thing where the clothes are
Wardrobe.
kept. Wardrobe, right, and slide aside the clothing so that the white dress can be seen. And he will look at Callisto and say, Master, do you require assistance in dressing?
He looks over and sees that you have done not yet for that costume. That one is for later. He points towards a brilliant purple velvet sort of this one. But yes, you may aid me in dressing. And he sort of shrugs out of his coat.
Yes. Oh. Yes. Okay. That happened. Nice.
And he smiles and reaches down. Dress me while I find inspiration. And he lights his pipe and draws deeply.
Okay, role to play. I will dress him.
as this smell hits you, he will look to you. Would you care for a draw?
If you allow it, Master.
Yes, I think it will inspire you as well.
Yeah, well, I won't inhale.
We'll come back to you in a moment.
Well,
As the stage performance, Lorelei and Sebastian are going on. Aramis, have you gone? You've spoken with Fedara. The two of you are kind of, have finished this conversation as the two of them are performing. I know, Fedara, you're sort of not wanting to glance towards their performance.
Right.
Aramis, do you?
I do. I understand that there is some danger, but I also know that Limye would protect me, and I'm trying to keep them unaware of our overall plot. So I want to seem interested.
I would like for you to roll me a resist plus occult.
All right. I have resist. I do not have occult, so I will be rolling 2 die.
Yep. And Fenara, are you trying to assist in this? Do you think there's an assist in this you could do?
Not really, unless I can provide some kind of distraction, although that could be quite troublesome for the both of us.
I think not then. So let's roll 2.
Here we go. Oh my goodness. A 4 is the highest die that I've rolled.
Well, if you would be so kind as to roll me a d6 to mind.
Goodness gracious. And that would be a 6.
Take 6 to mind. And I think we're going to need to roll a fallout real quick.
Single D10?
Single D10. Want to get above a 4.
Whoa, wow.
How'd you
I got a 4. Exactly.
All right. You don't suffer the fallout, but you are going to be suffering or dealing with an idle use of their power.
Okay.
Because as you look over and glance, you see Lorelei staring at you. The movements she and Sebastian are doing, intertwining between each other, moving up and down the silks. But for a moment, not even a moment, as you're watching, you see yourself, not Sebastian there, holding her, moving with her. The two of you entwining closer and closer. It's so clear how happy she could make you. She is beautiful. So you will be, I believe how the idol move will work in this is that you are inflamed of passion for Lorelei. Let's put it as that.
All right. That's seems like a 6 mind hit all at once. So yeah. There you go.
And as they finish, they do this magnificent drop down to the stage. You can see the audience go crazy as this smoke and light moves up from where they land, the smoke swirling around them. And even though at the edge of your mind, you can sense something so dark in that performance. Lorelei looks over and smiles. And despite all this audience, she's paying attention to you. And as they move off the stage towards you, she sort of moves up close and, did you enjoy it?
Of course I did. It was magnificent.
I'm so glad that you see my talents. And she kind of moves in very, very close. Would you care to come back to my dressing room? I have the worst trouble getting out of this suit. Now, you are not mind controlled, here.
Right.
That is not what's going on. But it's fair to say you're horny for the girl.
Fair. I also feel like this is an excellent
I bumble
excuse
into
to come back.
Aramit's with a drink.
You're welcome to do that. I was also thinking it might be a way that if Vazar ends up in trouble at the dressing room,
Oh, fair.
it would
Yeah.
be a perfect reason for me to be there. But yeah, if you want to bumble into me with a drink too, that's I won't fight it.
All right, I do it.
Okay.
You come bumbling in towards and kind of intersperse yourself into the scene. What's your line you say as you show up?
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Mr. Lejean, sir,
This will set. I will join you very soon, and then I'm going to excuse myself.
As you begin trying to excusing yourself,
Yeah.
First off, Sebastian looks and says, Fenara, we've met before.
Oh, Sebastian. Hello. I was looking to see if there was a sneaky way out to the, little powder room. But I tripped on some of the stage curtain. There's so much of it.
I see. And of course, Lorelei is not quite willing to give up. She's, you shouldn't, as Aramit, you're moving away. And it's this moment behind you. The stage lights shift. And you hear a voice go, my dear guests, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I will not imagine that we'll be taking very long from the entertainments, but I have something special. It would seem that Paladin Captain Mourns the 200 has a thought in his mind that one of you are a criminal.
Murmur.
He is coming to my home and demanded that I allow him to molest you during this entertainment. Now, I would not do that to my guests, and yet he has insisted, and that is a call to honor. And as everyone here knows, my honor is impeccable. And so, you, my dear guests, will get to see a rare thing. Mourns the 200 has a champion. As you know, I have the 1,000 cuts. Here, on this stage, before you all, my champion will face the Paladin's champion. But more than that, friends, the Paladin's champion is Sorden the name ring a bell, friends? Some of you lost your own champions to his blade when there were altercations that couldn't be avoided. Now, friends, you will get to witness my old champion facing my new. Place your bets. I'm betting that I chose well. And as he moves off, Sorden,
Sorden, like throughout that speech, was like there's definitely like a visible thing, like he's trying to keep his face straight, but there's like definitely some grimacing as he's basically wondering himself like, I enjoyed working for that guy. How? Why? Like like now I see him in a very different light, and he's like the worst. Why did I not see that?
he used to talk nice about you. As he steps off, the Thousand Cuts steps onto the stage. He is wearing light armor.
Choice.
Clearly a man of speed. And as he comes on, he draws two wickedly sharp-looking, fairly short swords, curved blades. At their hilt, there are barbed spikes. And he, stepping out, makes several twirling and leaping whirls before setting himself into a fighter's stance. Morns has, through all of this, been completely impassive, has his visor down. But as the fighting stance of your opponent is displayed, he will reach up and move his visor up. Look at the crowd. Again, just this impassive, all business look. And then look back to you, Sorden.
Sir. And I stepped forward as well.
As you move, go ahead.
Just, being very, very professional and like loosening my great swords, testing the balance, and like sort of make a bow towards Thousand Cuts.
He bows in return and leaps forward into the battle.
And that's where like Sorden's stance definitely suddenly like changes from the very stiffness to like suddenly like, all right, I remember this.
I think that we'll be rolling fight. This is a duel. This is high society.
Yes, I have fight. I have a knack in fighting duels, and I have high society, so I'm good.
He is going to be coming in with a 1 difficulty to start.
All right.
I will tell you, if you ever roll a fail, his difficulty goes up.
Oh, awesome. Well, I will tell you that because the crowd goes wild, my attacks have the brutal tag.
Ooh, very nice. All right, roll away.
So 1 difficulty, so that brings it down to 3. And come on, don't fail me now. A 9.
Oh, very good. He's moving in with speed and trying to do lots of deceptive moves. And I think you've got a 9, so I don't think he's managing to land anything on you. But you see, he uses both ends of those blades, and probably his style has to do with like nicking and starting to take off. He likes to go
Thousand
for
cuts. Yes.
right. He likes to go for tendons and things like that to break you down. He's missing. So what does it look like when Sorden scores a hit?
I think Sorden is probably initially just focused on like blocking the blows, which is like you can see that he's having some difficulty because it's like, oh, he's fast. But he's also like taking in his fighting style in the during this and then eventually like, okay, yeah, okay, I'm starting to see, and then suddenly like bam, finally strikes.
Nice. Roll your damage.
What just D8, come on. It's 7.
Oh.
You actually get to roll 2d8 and take the higher one because your attacks are brutal.
Oh, it's brutal.
Yeah.
I have no clue what
that
brutal
is what
does,
brutal.
but-
Yeah, that is what brutal means.
Mhm.
Okay, then I roll again and see if it's an 8. That's just another 7. That's fine.
Another
it was
7.
supposed to be a 7.
You strike, and his light armor does little to help him in this particular bit. And as you hit, he kind of rolls with it, but it scores solidly, and blood begins to flow as he jumps back. And you can see in his eyes in that moment him realizing, oh hell, what am I in for here? And the crowd, they do remember you, and they know what Morris here is to do, and so you begin to hear boos.
That's fine. Like that, it specifically says on Crowd
Yeah.
Goes Wild, you're used to fighting with the support or ire of the
Oh,
crowd.
yeah. He collects himself. Do you take the initiative to press the attack, or do you wait for him to come in?
I think he will actually, like he will hold back, and he will actually say something along the lines of like, I won't take pleasure in defeating you. You know, I know what that will mean for your position.
His eyes narrow. There is only one thing we can do, though. We must fight. And he leaps up. I need for you to roll resist plus. This could probably be, you could do the high society since this works in that area. It could also be occult.
So high society will do. I don't have resist, sadly. And is it still with the plus the one difficulty?
You don't have to worry about the
Nope.
difficulty on this. He's doing a move at you.
Yeah. Let's see what it how well it does. A 7.
Ooh, success, but
I take stress.
Roll me a D3 for blooded armor.
I mean, that will. A 3.
Okay. And you're not even taking much in on that. You have
No,
tons
nothing.
of armor and body. As he
I mean,
leaps,
I think because it does damage the armor. I think. But
yeah, you take armor first.
Yeah.
So he does this leap up, and as he's coming in, it's almost like in midair, he changes direction and instead sort of drops and comes in with this sweep across what would be both of your Achilles tendons. But your armor holds as he slings his blade across it, and you are free to strike.
Oh, I'd love to.
His difficulty is in effect now.
Right. Let's have a look. 3 dice. Oof, a 6.
Ooh.
And a 6, and a 6.
Ah.
I mean, I think there should be something for like rolling 666. No, it's not. Oh.
I need for you to roll me a d6 to blood and armor.
All right. A 2.
All right, add that to your stress, but do
Yep,
your damage. You got a success.
I mean, I've reached the amount of my blood and armor resistance, but oh, and 2d8, of course. Another 7.
Oh, God. Okay. He's come in with his strike and gotten in very close. And his move was to come in high, like he was going for you here. Yeah. But as he came in, he flipped and was basically trying to stab you under each armpit. However, your armor held, and you have him with a mighty blow. What does it look like?
I think it's a blow that like cuts into his sides, but you can sort of see like this one could have gone through, but I stopped myself from.
Ooh. He staggers back and is holding his side and sort of, drops to a knee before pulling back. He looks like he is beaten. And you can see he's sort of breathing and
then Sorin says, "Do you yield?" And he will actually like then sheath his sword, taking a bit of a risk maybe, but still like.
he turns his blades and lowers them to the ground. The crowd goes insane.
Hey, I want to fight. That means I get to refresh. I want to fight in front of a crowd specifically.
And as he lowers his blades, the blood loss, he drops to a knee, and he clearly looks badly injured.
I think Sordin is probably looking specifically in the direction where he knows because there's a caretaker for the duelist, and he definitely is looking specifically in the direction of where the caretaker is going to be coming from, and
you see that person begin moving forward, and as he passes Resplendent goes, and then you hear a clank of armor as Morns walks beside you. Well done. Resplendent, your champion is defeated. I will be starting my investigation. And he moves forward and lifts his hand up like this, and the stage is filled with light that coalesces around the 1,000 cuts as his wounds mend.
That Sorin will definitely say, "Thank you, sir."
And that's where we're going to end.
Nice.
Which, can we take a few minutes? We'll take a break real quick. And wow, as the crowd sort of is overwhelmed by the light, as the 1,000 Cuts looks up towards you and Morns, and Sword, you can kind of see in his eyes the realization that Resplendent was going to let him die here. And kind of the recognition of that, along with the, as he looks at you, you know that this is what he loves doing, just like you love doing it. And whether he was going to let him die or not, if he allows him, he will be walking right back to fight for him again. So, with that, we bring our adventure to the end. If folks have a few moments, we'll do a little stars and wishes. Before we launch into it, I'm super pleased at what we got. I think we had a bunch of cool stuff. We still have party to go next time, but I think this was a lot of excitement. I hope y'all enjoyed it. So why don't we just we'll start with the man of the hour and work our way across the character keeper from there. Jan, the champion of the day, stars.
I would love to give stars to everyone for, like, I really enjoyed for all three of the other characters how they interacted with people at the party. Like, everyone was a wonderful socialite, and it was fun to watch, fun to see people flourish in that environment, basically. And for Tyler, your NPC work was on point.
Thank you very much. So next along our character keeper, no Alex, sadly. Rich.
Yeah, it was great seeing you triumph. Especially love the honorable way that you handled it. That was like heroic. It was really cool, and seeing the way he had to take it from his old master was nice to see the growth of the character. And I appreciate you as a player communicating to us what was going through Sorden's mind of like, wait, I used to like working for this guy. You know, that was fun. That was a neat exploration of his mentality. Even though it was brief, it was cool. It gave some good context to things. Jan stole my star, but I'll just second the voice work for the NPCs. This session was pretty tremendous. Star to Sabine, your suck upitude or suck up ability or whatever, like, it's just so good. Like, I, the player, I'm like, wait, I think Vizar's faking this. So it was pretty cool. Only because I knew Vizar is has a very high opinion of himself. Did I realize? No. It's a role. Born to play, but a role. I want to give a star to the dice having me fail at an appropriate time, because Aramis started to get a little cocky. Oh, demon stuff warned by Finara. Yeah, I'm good. I've dealt with demons. I'm fine. And Limier giveth and Limier takes away. And I appreciated that. That was good. I don't want Aramis to become similar to oh shoot. And now, of course, the name slips my mind. Or guy who smells sin, Father Callus. Yes, I don't want him to be a callous. Like, I can do all this. So that was a nice failure. I will give him restore some of his humility, which is great because that's what I want. So stars there, and yeah, thanks for the Finara save there. Quick star to Jen. The Finara save was good because I really didn't need to be around her anymore. So thank you. Those are my stars.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Jen, any stars?
Oh, well, gonna just chime in with everybody else here and say the scenery chewing in this session was delicious. Very good. Really enjoyed that. All the voice work and things was so good. I think everybody got at least one really good spotlight scene this session. Dead Duel was amazing. I was hyped. Other stuff is really starsy. I like the winding of the villainous plots and how things are going. It's I feel like I'm watching gears turn and being like, well, I'm going to put a stick right here soon. It's going to be very fun for them. And by fun for them, I mean fun for me at their expense. So that's quite good. I like the structure of this party and this event. I liked that there was that upstairs, downstairs tension just immediately built into it, just right up front. And that was super good. Good session. I will stop rambling.
Awesome. Thank you very, very much. Sabine, any stars?
Yeah, sure. Lots of stars. This was a fun session. Thank you, Star, for you, Tyler, for bringing back Redolent Dreams of Firefly Cliffs. Now that I've know his name by heart, so yeah, love to see him back again. And who knows when this shopping list of his will come in handy, because I'm aiming to keep that. Oh, I will add it to my gear. So yeah, anyways, and furthermore, stars to, of course, Zordon for the whole performance, especially the way he behaved around his old master, who was that like I wrote in the chat, that was the most villainous voice I've ever heard. So yeah, if they need a new Joker for Batman, Tyler, please go and apply. Yeah, and then stars to Aramis for being in over his head a lot in the session. Like, yeah, well, I'm not being here. I don't want to watch. Do I want to watch this? And I mean, I told you, it was seared into my mind.
Yeah, well, but
yeah.
Vizar is big on like hyperbole, so
we told you before what had happened during the performance when we had watched this, Gerald and me.
I know. But Aramis was riding high.
It's also true that Vizar is high on hyperbole a lot. And yeah, Fonara and her safe and just being there and talking to people and figuring out the lay of the land. And I feel that might come in very useful. Yeah. So do I get to say a wish now? Because I have a burning wish.
He will start in just a moment, but I would like to throw out a couple of stars myself because I want to thank folks. There was a lot of me talking to myself, and I know that could be sort of frustrating and boring, but I'm glad people kind of leaned into and were willing to accept that. It was set up that I think we're all going to get to exploit next time. I really loved Fenara and Gola set. I thought, Jen, it was so neat to see you, how you deal with him and to see that relationship grow. I've been wanting us to have a chance to do that. And then have you with Aramit's there backstage, and that discussion was very good. The tension that was going on, I thought the two of you really brought it. I thought that was awesome. I gotta say, Sabine, how you dealt with Callisto there in the room was really interesting. It's gonna be fun with see how that sulfur, not inhaling, but the sulfur. We'll see how that goes. I thought that was neat. Yeah, that was all around was first rate. That was just really solid. I came to you several times to ask for descriptions. All of them were magnificent. I loved seeing Zordon in this position and how he dealt with it. And I think it was really cool to see mercy out of Zordon. I thought that was nice. And I can't believe I liked working for this guy. Was just magnificent, just wonderful, fantastic, all around good role play. And I think it's fun to kind of juxtaposition him between him and Morns. I think that was cool to see how Morns and you reacted to each other. I thought that was really nice. So yes, let's see some wishes. Sabine, you get to start us off.
I wish I would find out what that pipe does. I really wish to find that out because I mean, as cocky as Bizarre is, he was aware that that was not a great thing, but he had a role to play. Yeah? So, damn you.
Thank you very much. Jen, wishes.
Wish I had a big bowl of popcorn for these sessions, because man, just like crunch, crunch, crunch. It's nothing really springs to mind other than, of course, my comedy option there. Yeah.
Well, cool. I'm hoping next time we get to see you and Gola set. We've seen some fights. I'd like to see Gola set and you.
Yeah, I want to see us fighting together. That'd be pretty fun. And yeah, I'll leave the rest to Rich and Jan.
Cool. Thank you very much. Rich, any wishes?
This wish isn't fair, right? But it's a wish. I wish that we could go to another day because I got this cool thing 3 sessions ago and we've all been packed in one freaking day. And you and I came to the agreement, hey, the dream thing, and I like that and I want to stick to it. It's just one of those compressed time RPG things where it's like, I remember the Monster Hearts game that lasted for like 2 months and it was basically one party. Like, it's that thing of real world time versus RP time of like, no, I don't go to sleep. Let's go to the thing. We have to go to the party now. It's like, it makes sense because it's fun, but mechanically I got this cool what's it and the thing doesn't happen. So again, not a fair wish, but wish is that a day passes.
Perhaps something knocks Aramit's into a dreamlike state.
Exactly. If only I'd inhaled the sulfur and didn't breathe or something. That'll work great. No, again, I said it wasn't fair. It's just one of those, like, a wish is a thing that's, it doesn't have to make sense. It's a wish, guys. I wish that Gerald gets to jump right back in to the action and be in here with us. I don't want to like prelude or a bunch of time where Gerald is doing not this party stuff or whatever, like right in. That's my wish. And yeah, more like cross partner pair scenes stuff as we go into the next phase of it, so we can all interact in different ways. I think that would be cool. Those are my wishes.
Cool. Awesome. I hear you. And Jan, finish us out.
I am. I wish to see how there's a response to everything that's happened. Oh, and I wish to know how much I can refresh for for winning a fight in front of a crowd.
Oh yeah. Why don't you go ahead? I think this was a big one. Go ahead and roll a d6.
D6. All right. Boop. That's only 2, but still.
Sorry.
That's fine. And it would come out of the blood.
You can actually choose, but it all has to come out of one.
It's fine. I will just take it from my blood pool. Right,
Cool.
and that's all. Really, like, no, it's good.
Good. All right then. Well, I only wish I have is for Alex to be back with us. I agree with you, Rich. I think having him in medias res, I think we can, through things, maybe have him flash back to where he got to where he was. I want him right in the mix. So we will get that going. And my big wish is we finish the party next session. I want us done, and I feel like we can do it. So big things, lots of emotion. I thought it was fun, and I hope you all enjoyed it. And I will turn it back over to you, Rich.
Thank you, Tyler, and thanks anybody who is watching. We love to see your comments, any feedback you have. And next week we will finish up the party, because if the GM wishes it to happen, it's gonna happen. So, thanks, everybody.